Broadcasting live. It's America's longest running talk show on computers. It's Computer America, bringing you the biggest names in technology with guest interviews, new products, and your emails. Listen live at computeramerica.com on any device around the world. Email the show at live@computeramerica.com or find us on social media. Be sure to check out our website for contests, giveaways, show notes, live video stream, podcasts, and more. You're listening to Computer America.
Hello and welcome to the Computer America Show. We are the nation's longest running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers and technology. And everyone, hey, welcome into the program. Today on the show, in the second part of the program, we have computer and technology news, where we try to keep you up to date on everything that's happening out there. A lot of great stories, policy, new products, anything like that. That's going to be the segment to hear. But in the first part of the show, it's our favorite part, and that's where we get to interview a great company. And that company today is SDSol Technologies. And of course, hey, that's going to be all about app development, custom software, IoT hardware, technology business consulting, web development. I think this is going to be a great exercise in hearing about, not every business wants to be a full solution in-house, do everything. I mean, if you are, if you're a chef who wants to make food, hey, you don't want to become a web developer. Or if you're a plumber, you don't want to have to build out your whole system, kind of behind the scenes to manage all of your employees. Hey, and these are the guys that are going to make it happen to make sure that you can run your business in, today's world. And hey, you could just get to focus on what it is that you get to focus on. So again, this is going to be a lot of fun. But before we get to that, everyone, computeramerica.com. That's going to be your one-stop shop for show notes, past shows, future shows, podcasts, video archives, as well as links to social media, articles that we write, reviews, everything like that. And for the month of February, just to be perfectly clear, we are celebrating our 30th broadcasting year. So we're very happy about that. And to celebrate, we're doing a giveaway, and you can win hundreds of dollars in giveaways. We also have prizes from some of our favorite friends of the show and companies. And hey, to enter that, completely free. You can do that whenever. Computeramerica.com. It's off to the right, and it's super easy to do. There are daily entries and all that good stuff. So hey, we definitely recommend that you check that out. Now, with all that being said, I think that's it for the morning announcements. Let's go ahead and bring on our guest and just get started. So, as I said before, SDSol Technologies, right down there in where Computer America started. Actually, fun fact, we started in West Palm, and of course, Craig used to, cut his teeth at the Miami Herald. But hey, we're very familiar with the area. We're very happy to see, a successful business out of Miami. But SDSol, they work for everyone in the country, and we're very happy to have them on. Joining us is none other than the CEO and founder, Chief Systems Architect, Mr. Azam Malik. So, Azam, welcome on to Computer America. How you doing?
Doing great. Thank you for having me.
Our pleasure. And thank you so much for joining us. I think that a good place to start is going to be a little bit of background on SDSol for people who haven't heard about the company and about yourself. Have you always been in high technology, or what is your background as well?
Sure. I'm originally from Pakistan. I am a computer systems engineer. I have a knowledge of electronics and electrical engineering as well. I started this company in 2000 and started the U.S. operations in late 2001. What we do is we provide full service technology solution, specifically custom technology solution. There are options where, for example, you can get an accounting software off the shelf. You can get a payroll software off the shelf and run your business. Where we come in is when you need more than that. Any off-the-shelf software or off-the-shelf technology is not sufficient for your business needs, for your needs. That's exactly when we come in. we customize the technology and we create custom technology solution, primarily software, any backend applications, and then connect those to mobile apps and now a lot of IoT hardware pieces as well. So we create a full-fledged technology solution. That's what we are currently implementing. Everything is under one roof. Engineers, designers, developers, testers, system admins, everybody working together as a unit.
So, and forgive me, I'm not too familiar with the custom software, kind of side, business side. Is that unusual for the space, to have everything in-house and under one roof? Or, is it typical for maybe these businesses to have someone do the software, someone do the UI, someone do, kind of other parts of it? Is that what makes kind of SDSol a little unique, is that you can handle this from beginning to end in one, kind of in one studio?
Yes, this is a big advantage. And these types of custom technology projects cost time, money, effort. And in addition to that, a lot of technology projects do not end up being successful or fully implemented. This is the statistics of our industry will show you that a custom technology project, majority of those do not get full output what it was originally intended for. And there are reasons for it. And the one big advantage that we have is that we have all resources in-house. So imagine if, in construction, you can have a general contractor and you are subbing the plumbing, the electrical, all those things.
Right.
But you're one general contractor in that case. So we are the general contractor. Also, we are the rest as well. Under one roof, we have full control on the outcome. So essentially, we promise and we deliver a result. So it is not going to be, okay, we are going to give you the piece of technology. No, we bring a result to the table. You will gain efficiency with your workforce. You will gain your workflow would be improved. You will save X amount of man hours in terms of manual work. And now these processes are automated. So this is how we achieve it. There is a lot of efficiency loss when you have a designer sitting somewhere else and a programmer sitting somewhere else, and a tester is in a whole different world. So you lose time, you waste money, and when you're working as a cohesive unit, things get done faster, better, and cost less.
Well said. And talk about your typical client that you would work for, because doing this kind of thing, like I said before, maybe people who are just trying to start a business that is not a really, I'm sure that they could be tech companies, but that are not strictly tech companies. They just want to start providing a different kind of service. Is that your typical kind of customer, or who is it that you normally try to work for?
Sure. Then we have different types of customers. Since we are a custom technology shop, so every project we do, every customer we have is different. That is what's unique about our business. We have customers who are startups. We have customers who are very, very established businesses, and we have customers who are Fortune 500 companies. Startups come to us with an idea of a certain technology implementation, an app idea, or a device idea, or a hybrid of those. That somebody wants to do a Bluetooth project, Bluetooth device that has an app as well. We we help them out. We start with we provide them guidance, consulting, and really map out the vision that how that idea can be brought to reality. And then established businesses come to us where they have exhausted the off-the-shelf software, accounting software, or payroll software, or any other database applications they've done. And now they have very specific needs to gain further efficiency. So we go in and we automate their processes and create custom software solution. Those are the businesses, our established businesses, but those businesses are growing, and they are ready for their own custom technology implementation. And then larger companies, Fortune 500 companies, companies with thousands of employees, they come to us for certain specific technology projects, certain specific software projects. So we integrate within their existing system a new technology piece to gain further efficiency, more automation, and creating, for example, customer-facing portals, experiences that the customers can have, or adding a mobile app to their existing legacy software or their existing ERP enterprise software, and they want to add a mobile app component to it. We come in and implement a new mobile app that will talk to their existing software system.
Yeah, I'm sure that's that would be a very big challenge in itself, making new technology that works with other people's existing technology. I know that's that can be one of the harder things to do out there. Making sure that you are integrated well, and of course I'm sure there's a lot more that goes into that, including things like security and troubleshooting and so on and so forth that you handle all in-house, which is really amazing. I wanted to shift the conversation just a little bit into and by the way, looking at all these different and looking at all these different companies that you've worked with, I think that when we were first approached by you, you had just finished up Paddle, which was a very cool project where I believe it was being able to track, kind of like the bike rental, except instead of bike rental, paddleboard, because not everyone wants to own a paddleboard, but hey, sometimes people want to use a paddleboard. Paddle was a very interesting use case that made a lot of sense, but at the same time, I'm sure that the business itself was not all that interested in, kind of designing the app that really, I guess, as far as the company goes, most of the customers would strictly be utilizing, I guess, your solution. But as far as the company goes, they're the ones providing the equipment, the maintenance, all that kind of thing. And, so it was almost like they're doing, like, both of you are doing the bulk of the work, if that makes any sense. As far as the customer goes, your work says it all. And then as far as their work goes, I mean, you're just a portal to what they're doing. So, I mean, talk about an example like that where, were there any challenges? Like how did, Paddle go? And then we can also talk about, I believe, another solution, which was, the other solution was all Sola as well. And we can talk about that, just some specifics, if you don't mind.
Sure. Paddle is a great success story. This is a startup story that a startup client that initially I shared that we have three types of customers: startups, established businesses, and large enterprises. This comes under startup category. The founders of the business with an idea came to us that they want to create bike rentals, line bike off paddle boards. And that's how they stepped into our office. And now it is a fully patented solution. It has been created, it has been launched. There are, I believe, 6 or 8 sites that it is already deployed on, and they are rapidly growing and adding more locations. What it is a very sophisticated smart lock for watercrafts. So water and paddleboard to be the very first one. So it's a fully patented technology now. It's one of the it's a big accomplishment for SDSol Technologies for our team here. What we did, we designed this smart lock, and what it does, it secures this 12 foot, 10, 12 foot high, big, bulky paddleboard along with the paddle, and the system is fully automated. You can you can download the app, and from the app you start the rental. The board would automatically unlock. You pick it up, go use it. During the ride, it will track you where you are on the paddleboard, and then when you come back, you put it back in, and it would be automatically locked, and the system will charge you the rental. Whatever the hourly rate, or if you are a subscriber, subscribers get to ride hours, certain hours in a month for free. So it's this, and particularly these times, pandemic times, this is a great activity that you can just get out on the water and
minimal contact. Yeah.
And there's no human contact here as well. You simply rent it. So this is something that we are proud of. It's a South Florida company as well. That it's right in our backyard, and we have been very, very fortunate to be a part of this, and we made it successful.
Perfect. Yeah, there's that one. And then the other one here that we have is a company called AllSola. And, my initial reaction, because I'm so kind of American focused, is, things like camping. This would be great for. But this is also, this seems to be a solution for people who, maybe just don't have the infrastructure for, kind of running even basic electronics. And you could, I'm sure that there's, even in Pakistan, I'm sure that there are places that the infrastructure has been either devastated or just really not fleshed out yet. I'm sure that other places in, I believe in Africa, where, reliable electricity probably isn't a thing. Talk about AllSola real quick and what you did for them and kind of how this project developed.
Absolutely. Now, this is an amazing project, and this is one of the projects that we are just so proud to be part of. It's literally the concept was originally created, and it is done for people in the developing world who do not have access to electricity, do not have access to internet and communication infrastructure, for them to have access. So this is an all-inclusive hardware. You can see live TV. It's a television, and it also has a computer in there, and you can run. You have access to internet. It has solar panel. It has a bulky battery inside this piece of hardware as well, which you can use to power your. It comes with about 6 light bulbs, so you can bring light in your house. It's literally targeted for the remote areas of developing countries. And currently, our client is working with a lot of cell phone companies, cellular companies in Africa, starting from Kenya, to introduce this product. And they also have a partner in the finance world, where their idea is that for $1 a day, you just rent this product. So they are really not only just they made this device for the world, but they also are making it easier. So people who do not have access to basic infrastructure, basic internet access, they can get to it and as low as $1 a day model. And they are making those financial partnerships where they are getting grants they are getting aid to get this project reality and deployed. We are, what we did, we made sure that all the software side of the project, in the device, everything is registration, activation of the device, and running it. And then it's connected to a backend portal, so it continues to run. So majority of the software portion, we helped our client with this.
Yeah, and of course you can see how solutions like these, completely ready to ship, ready to go, and it's amazing that you can, obviously do this on I guess kind of like not a tighter budget, but with cost effectiveness in mind, and something like this, it's also a very important project for, I'm sure, developing countries. That's great, amazing. I'm glad that we could highlight that. But I'm going to shift the conversation once again a little bit and focus on Internet of Things, which I think a lot of people nowadays are very familiar with. 5-6 years ago, maybe that would have been something about lighting, but IoT has really come into its own and started to invade every part of our lives. So let's talk about IoT projects and what it is that SDSol really tries to do with with new IoT product or projects.
Sure. IoT projects that, particularly recently, last 4 or 5 years, we have been. This is the area that we're really growing. So more and more hardware projects, more and more device development is being done. Currently, we are working on several projects. In-house at the moment, and very, very exciting work that we cannot wait to share with the rest of the world. That what comes out in the next few months. So Internet of Things, essentially smart devices. So we're any basic operation that we used to do manually has an opportunity to get done in an automated way and then in a connected way. So we have done IoT projects. Paddle, we shared an example. That's a very good IoT example. We've done projects with parking. We've done camera devices that are connected. We've worked with vending machines. There's several other examples that we can share with you. What we do is we start from an idea. We add circuits. We bring electronics to it. We bring communication to it. Then we build the back end, the server side where devices communicate to the server, and then we create the app side, where consumer can control that device. So the entire ecosystem is developed, and we have several examples. One of those is my park. This is also one of our big success stories. Same here, that customer came to us with an idea of automating parking reservation. And now it is a fully patented system. It's a robotic device that sits and that gets affixed on a parking space, and you can reserve it from your app. They are in I believe most of the shopping malls now. And it's completely contactless parking solution. You can reserve a spot close to the entrance of the mall. You go there. The arm of this device will go down, so you can park. It would detect. It will sense that you are parked, and it will start charging you at that time. And then once you are done, you can simply leave, and the arm will come back up, and it will charge you for the amount of time you stay on the parking. And this is one of the applications of IoT. There are several opportunities out there now, particularly there is more a lot of providers on the server side. This field is growing, so it's even getting easier to develop a solution and deploy it. So with smart homes now, we've seen that this wave of from light bulbs to everything, locks, your sprinkler system to your pool equipment and your awnings and windows and doors. You can fully automate those things and control through the app. And that's the benefit of IoT. But there are still thousands of applications that there is the opportunity of bringing IoT and really connecting every little piece of our world to the internet and have a simply better life.
Yeah, I definitely recall, when I used to live down in Florida, that one of the big things that I think that a lot of my friends and, that I was really keeping an eye on was an all-in-one solution to kind of control your pool filter, because normally it was very, very old technology that was very set and stagnant, but being able to, kind of control that from your phone would have been great for, kind of after you use it, after you have friends over, something like that. Being able to control your pool filter and your pool automation from your phone would have been, a really, really nice thing to do. So like you said, there's tons of solutions that people are familiar with already, but I wanted you to talk a little bit more about how Miami in particular is changing. I know that I've heard a lot of news about Miami, and there's a lot with, of course, the population there. It's growing. There's a lot of in any city that size, I'm sure that automation is going to help people the growing pains a little bit easier. But also on top of that, there's also things like climate change and their flooding in Miami, I hear, is a regular event nowadays. Of course, with hurricanes, natural disasters are something that you have to prepare for, and I'm sure that IoT has a place there. But day-to-day life, big events like that, how is Miami in the tech scene changing? And I guess as well as just attracting companies to the area to kind of capitalize on the workforce you have there, all the projects that need to be done. And I know that's a lot to cover, but just in general, how is the Miami tech scene developing?
Sure. Well, first of all, people in South Florida, resilient. That's what I would tell you. They have gone through hurricanes. They have gone through really tough times and pulled through and came out stronger and better. It's the town knows how to deal with the natural disasters, so having said that, talking about tech, definitely we're growing in terms of tech talent. More talent is coming in, and it's a domino effect that more tech companies are coming in and the tech talent is coming in. So it's helpful. It's good for the area from both perspectives. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, it was very challenging to hire a programmer or an engineer in Miami. It would take us sometimes 5-6 months to fill in a good position. It is not the case. We can find talent and we can fill in a position very quickly. So this is good. So this wave is helping tech companies like us, and then in return, we are more effective in creating technology solutions, and that will help the area, and this will lift everybody up. It's a good system, good ecosystem that has taken shape in Miami at the moment, and we're very excited to be part of this wave, and we believe it's here to stay for a very long time, and this is the Silicon Valley of East Coast, and it will continue to grow.
Yeah, and I can completely see that happening. And one thing that's going to, I guess, kind of magnify that is a technology we've been hearing coming, and it's going to be implemented in larger cities first, which is going to be a great boon for a city like Miami, and really South Florida in general, that, millions of people are going to be able to get access to 5G technology before a lot of other places in the country. And talk about 5G in the capacity that it can help, I guess, some of these IoT solutions that we've talked about, even things like parking, paddle that we talked about earlier. How do you see 5G changing your line of work in particular in developing apps and things like that for people that want to take advantage of 5G?
Absolutely, we're very excited. I think this is huge for our industry. This is just huge generally for technology. Previously, IoT solutions were kind of like strapped in the sense of bandwidth usage. So IoT was designed for very limited amount of data. That you can send some data packets or just a status, and then you create a solution which is a server heavy, backend heavy, and very little amount of processing on the device side. This opens up many doors, many possibilities. We have having access to 100 times more bandwidth is huge. We can transmit a lot more data. We can transmit live videos. We can transmit a huge amount of data captured and much faster results. So this will open up new doors in the IoT world. Previously, the solution that you could not have even imagined because of limitations of technology. Now, having access to that kind of bandwidth, we could create, we could see and imagine and think that those things are now going to be possible.
Yeah, it's something that I've been looking forward to as well. It's this idea that instead of just having little pings or little bursts of data and information coming through, you get a constant stream of high fidelity data. And I guess the possibilities of that really hasn't struck people because, hey, they haven't really had a chance to see the possibilities of it. So I'm let's put it this way. I'm excited for you, for what you can do for your clients and, kind of what you can do for people out there, that, it's going to be very life-changing, I guess, for a lot of different solutions. So I'm really excited to see that. Okay, so with that being said, looking through the questions here, and let's talk about, so there's that, and of course that's going to have a lot of changes, but SDSol in particular, how do you see your business kind of changing in 5 years? Do you see, kind of more companies, maybe even like a broader range of companies, all needing custom, kind of custom solutions? Because I guess, in terms of custom technology, especially in the business place, that's still kind of new. 20 years ago, computers were just starting to make it into businesses, and now I guess we're seeing this transition of not just bringing computers and automation into every business, but now it's custom automation and custom software solutions into your business. That might be just as big of a revolution as computers were in the first place, don't you think?
Yes, absolutely. And what we see as SDSol, what we have been doing for last 20 years, what we do is we we remain on the cutting edge. That's what we want. That's what we want to do, and that's what we try to do, and that's what we have been doing. So where SDSol is going in the next 5 years or 10 years, we are going to remain on the cutting edge. So there is a whole R&D, research and development department in the company. So we are researching on new technologies, new potential technologies, and how to bring those into our projects and our solutions. So we foresee our skills, our talents getting polished. That's where we see that we will be. Our engineering department growing in terms of skill set, in terms of different engineering fields. We, as the technology evolve, our engineering talent is going to evolve as well. They are going to get trained. They are going to get knowledge of what's coming, and our internal research and development department really goes hand in hand and keeps us on the cutting edge. So we will be in the next 5 years. We'll be around and doing the same thing, creating more custom technology solutions.
Hey, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how the space develops, and especially in different parts of the country. I got to admit that a lot of the tech companies and a lot of the tech scene that we get on the show is from San Francisco, is from kind of the California area, some in Colorado, some in New York, some in kind of Dallas or Austin, Texas, places like that. But it's great to see people from South Florida, really taking advantage of this, because I honestly think that Florida is a great place to have a business, and to for the tech scene to start to come up in Florida is something that I would love to see. So I just got to say, from someone who grew up in South Florida, it's great to see that you guys are out there, and it's you guys are doing an amazing job. It looks like you have a lot of projects. I'm sure there will be even more projects in the future. And everyone, I've been talking to the CEO and founder, Chief Systems Architect, Mr. Azam Malik, and this has been a lot of fun. Before I say goodbye, though, Azam, I wanted to give you one last opportunity. Is there any part of the business or anything that you wanted to touch on that we didn't talk about?
No, I think primarily we talked about most of it. We just love being a part of this industry. We love creating, developing, and making things, apps, and part of these amazing innovative projects. So innovation is happening in South Florida. Innovation is happening in Miami. There is talent. There are companies like us. So come on down.
Perfect. And everyone, if you want to find out more information, SDSol.com. We'll have a link in the show notes over at Computer America. Check that out. It should be on the front page, when you hear this. And I got to say that, this has been a lot of fun talking to you guys. And I wanted to say thank you for taking the time and coming on the program. We hope that, you come back on the show before that 5 years passes. We'll definitely reach out to you again and get you guys back on. But, in the meantime, I want to say thank you so much, and hey, we hope that you have a great day.
You too. Take care.
All right, take care. And now, again, I'm going to do that very, very rude thing. I'm going to end the Zoom call. But everyone, once again, SDSol.com. You can check that out. And I want to thank you guys so much. Have a good one. Bye-bye. So, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and jump right into computer and technology news. There we go. Clicked a button I wasn't supposed to. And perfect. We're going to jump into computer and technology news. And that's brought to you by Computer America. We can go ahead and start that now. So, everyone, sit back and relax. Let's go ahead and talk about this one. So this story, let's see, and actually let's go ahead and do this real quick. Hackermans. Let's see, so copy, paste, and right there. New York Times, great reporting, paywall. But anyways, Now, with that being said, I should really subscribe to him. There's no reason that I shouldn't be. This, this article here, New York's vaccine websites were not working, and so a gentleman claims to have built one for $50. And I want to highlight this one because it seems very disingenuous. Now, let's go ahead and say that, kind of first off, this is from the New York Times, and let's see, this is specifically by Sharon Otterman. And yeah, this gentleman, it's a little disingenuous to say $50 because I believe he spent about 2 weeks building it. So unless his time is completely not worth anything, hey, you at least have to pay yourself something. But anyways, Huge Ma, a 31-year-old software engineer for Airbnb, was stunned when he tried to make a coronavirus vaccine appointment for his mother in early January and saw that there were dozens of websites to check, each with its own sign-up protocol. The city and state appointment system was completely distinct. Saying there had to be a better way, he developed one in 2 weeks. He launched TurboVax, a free website that compiles availability from 3 main city and state New York vaccine systems and sends the information in real time to Twitter. It costs him less than $50 to build. I'm sure that is for licensing the software, not so much as time, and offers an easier way to spot appointments than the city and state systems do. Although, yeah, I'm sure that some coming in after the fact and building upon all the work that the other people had done, it's pretty easy to do. Now, let's go ahead and say that, saying it's sort of become a challenge to myself to prove that one person with time and a little motivation can do. This wasn't a priority for governments, which was unfortunate, but everyone has a role to play in the pandemic, and I'm just doing the little that I can to support. Which he sounds humble enough, that is the appropriate way to kind of approach this, is that, he is not building out the websites. He's not building out the appointments. He's not building out the infrastructure to, kind of validate that the right people are getting in this. And, he doesn't have to worry about security or anything like that. No, he's essentially aggregating all the information in one place. And that's, again, just for availability, which is perfect. But I wanted to draw attention to this article because it's a little disingenuous to say that, this one gentleman is really, kind of changing the way that everything is happening. He says that, quote, "I'm an engineer and an optimizer, so I was looking at this and saying I feel like that we could maybe look at pulling this data together and aggregating it so that it is faster and easier to find vaccines." That's, again, what he said. Yep. So they say that in its effectiveness, the site also offers a real-time glimpse at how brutally competitive the appointment process can be. At 2:30 p.m. on January 28th, hundreds of openings popped up, including 45 at a particular Army Marine terminal. And within 15 minutes, they were all gone. These sites do not solve all the access problems, but they still require computer literacy and benefit only those who know about them. As of February 8th, New York City vaccine list was getting about 16,000 visitors a day, which remains a fraction of the millions of qualified New Yorkers who need appointments. And this speaks to the COVID-19 relief that needs to happen with vaccines and getting vaccinated. It's logistics is always one of the hardest parts of any kind of large scale distribution. And, even if you have enough people and distributors and things like that, corralling millions of people, a place like New York City, corralling millions of people into a few sites is incredibly difficult to do. Now, with that being said, with that being said, let's see, scanning the article here if there's anything else I really need to see. Okay. With that being said, software developers peeking under the hood of some of the public scheduling sites were surprised to see just how messy it was back there. A freelance software engineer in Brooklyn said that he was chagrined to find misspellings and other errors in the code on the vaccine hub for the first month of the city health department, saying that the new website that rolled out February 1st seemed substantially better. You know, these guys are starting to sound like every plumber, electrician, contractor I've ever worked with. They always come in and they look at what the previous person did and went, what are these people thinking? How did they even get their license? They should be revoked. This is awful. I could do so much better. Blah, 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 blah. They do the work. And then I have someone come in behind them and the next person says the exact same thing. It's contractors from industry to industry seem to all be very similar. They all think that they can do just a little bit better than the person before them. But there you go. Yeah, there you go. So before we get into the entire thing with with vaccines and kind of the availability of them and the rollout of them, I wanted to kind of start with that one. Pretty cool, that gentleman. So picking on all these people who are picking on the system, that's great. But this gentleman really did do a very simple thing and a very needed thing, which was aggregate all the available appointments into one place so that people only had to visit one Twitter feed as opposed to, checking multiple sites. And by the time that they finally check them all, there's either, they miss their opportunity. So that's great. That's great. Let's see. Let's go ahead and talk about that. And we can talk about, all right, also picking real quick on another one. This is from Never 4 News, and let's go ahead and mute that. Real quick, headline, we all need to be a little more distrustful. Colorado schools could soon teach kids how to differentiate between fake news and credible media. And, when I see a headline like that, it makes me think that's someone reaching for a story, because schools have been teaching that ever since I was in school, that check your sources, don't trust everything you read online. Critical thinking skills is one of the most important things that the American school system teaches its kids. And that's something that, you can debate whether or not they do it well, but that's something that the American school system, and really the American workforce is, head and shoulders above a lot of other places in the world, in that we do teach our kids how to critically think and how to turn that into problem solving, as opposed to just strict repetition, strict, learning of certain skills, strict math. Our school system really teaches how to solve problems, not how to solve particular problems. And credit where credit is due, they're saying that, this is due to legislation being pushed forth through the Senate in Colorado, but they've been doing this the entire time. Always check your sources, make sure you have credible sources, and go on about your day. Now, whether or not after people graduate, they, continue to do these processes, that seems to be in question. But at least the schools have been doing this for a long, long time. So there you go. Just want to pick on that article real quick. I'm on a very picky mood today. Let's talk about this one from CNBC real quick. SpaceX. The rocket company, they're beginning to accept $99 pre-orders. Hey, but it's not for your own personal rocket. Unfortunately, no. $99 pre-orders for its Starlink satellite internet service as Musk eyes an IPO. And they say that Elon Musk SpaceX has widened the scope of the public beta test of its Starlink satellite internet service. He says that prospective Starlink users can enter a service address on the company's website with pre-orders available for $99. Some regions show pre-order messages that say SpaceX is targeting coverage in your area in mid to late 2021, and other pre-orders say 2022. The service will be offered first in the US, Canada, and the UK. The company website emphasizes that the pre-orders are fully refundable, but notes in fine print that placing a deposit does not guarantee service, and that orders may take 6 months or more to fulfill. And let's see, I think, Starlink. We can probably just go to the website itself, which would be right here. And yeah, this is kind of what they promise here. High speed, satellite-based internet, low latency, I guess, is the bigger part of that. Here's the setup process, which is a couple pieces of equipment. And yeah, this is going to be a solution for, I don't think this will be the perfect solution for everyone who wants to completely do away with land-based internet. Fiber will always be the best. Cable will be the second best, but if satellite internet can become a competitive second or a close third, that's going to provide relief to millions of people who have homes that there is no conceivable way to get internet to. And, even if it's not as good as, 100 megabits per second or 300 megabits per second, but it's competitive and, it can be at least broadband quality with low latency, that's going to be an amazing competitor to everyone. And that's going to make the entire field start to really wake up and say, hey, we have to start doing something like this. Now, Starlink and SpaceX's ambitious project to build an interconnected internet network with thousands of satellites, and it's known in the space industry as a constellation designed to deliver high-speed internet to a lot of people. The company hopes to deploy about 4,400 satellites by 2024, and it's already launched more than 1,000 Starlink satellites and plans to build and deploy even more advanced versions of its satellites. SpaceX disclosed in an FCC filing that it has over 10,000 users in the United States and abroad in about 3 months since the public beta began. So let's go ahead and just say that SpaceX needs to pass through a deep chasm of negative cash flow over the next year or so to make Starlink financially viable. And every new satellite constellation in history has gone bankrupt. We hope to be the first that does not. And I got to say that, Elon Musk seems to have this idea that they're going to use SpaceX, their rocket company, to kind of get the Starlink business off the ground, so to speak, using its rockets. And then after that, they can turn around and try to push this idea that they can kind of turn a positive cash flow. Because right now, the most expensive part of a satellite is, of course, getting it into orbit. Building it is one thing, but then getting it into orbit is a completely separate issue. And if any company ever had a chance at doing this, this might be the one, because, hey, they have the capacity to not just be the technology company that Tesla is, but to also be the rocket company that can place the satellites, and then not just be the rocket company, but then being a mixture of both to be able to support this ongoing network. And having that close partnership, as in being, founded from this company. If any other company had tried to do this, it would have been completely impossible. but this one at least has a chance. So Musk in 2019 told reporters that Starlink could bring in revenues of $30 billion a year, or about 10 times the highest annual revenue it expects from its core rocket business. And it makes sense, because how many people use the internet as opposed to how many people need access to a rocket. And yeah, I think a lot more people need a reasonable internet connection more so than more so than they need access to a reasonably priced rocket. So yeah, you can go to their website now. You can enter your email, your service address, and of course you can kind of sign up for that now. But yeah, hopefully that pops up here in the next couple of months. That's pretty exciting stuff. Definitely. Okay, so with that being said, continuing on here, we have time for just one more story. And this is a pretty big one. CD Projekt Red, the company behind the studio that is the company behind the studio of the critically acclaimed Cyberpunk 2077, the critically acclaimed before it was actually even released, but I digress. The company behind The Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk 2077 says that they were the victim of a targeted cyber attack in which the hacker claimed to have stolen internal documents and the source code for Cyberpunk 2077, The Witcher 3, and more. They announced the attack on Twitter, noting its internal systems have been compromised and that the hackers left a ransom note. The ransom note was released to the public alongside the announcement and claims to have dumped full copies of the source code for Cyberpunk 2077, The Witcher 3, Gwent, and the unreleased version of Witcher 3, presumably the next-gen edition coming later this year. And that's, of course, for the next-gen consoles that are being released. So, let's see. And the hacker also claimed to have access to all the company's documents related to accounting, administration, legal, HR, investor relations, and more. The ransom note ends by noting that CD Projekt Red has 40 hours to contact the hackers, or your source code will be leaked online and your documents will be sent to your contacts in gaming journalism. Your public image will go down the bathroom, and even more, and people will see how bad your company functions. Investors will lose trust in your company, and it will dive even lower. So, all that being said, what a piece of... I can't use that word. What a horrible, horrible group of humans to do this to a company. I don't know any credible gaming journalist that would actually use the material that they are claiming to release and cover it with any amount of vindictive journalistic integrity. No one would even touch that story. Like, they can leak the document and all that will be out there, but man, what a horrible, horrible group of people to hold a gaming company like this at ransom, for ransom. This is highly illegal, and these criminals deserve everything that will eventually come to them. Now, according to CD Projekt Red, devices on the network have been encrypted, but they have begun restoring their IT infrastructure and data through backups, saying we will not give in to the demands nor negotiate with the actor, being aware that this may developingly lead to the release of the compromised data, and that the compromised systems did not contain any personal data of our players or users of our service. Yeah, it's really horrible, I guess, what the hackers are doing. And I hope that they get caught and, taken down by the law, because again, they are criminals, and there's probably very few people that are looking at this and going, finally, we have CD Projekt Red, they're going to pay for their crimes. No right-minded person is going to think that. And, they all the ransom note has like almost a holier than thou attitude about it. And I guess you need to have that to be a brazen criminal. And then on top of that, you need to be just a piece of crap to do something like this. But I digress, everyone. There you go. That's all the time we have here for today. The music means that we are done. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. Thank you to SDSol for joining us here on the show. And until next time, thank you so much. Have a great one. We'll catch you next time. Bye.